shoot.
But Robert, part of that goes to what you said. You said you were veering to the left, but you weren't. When you said what happened in our nation's capital, right, 20 few miles from here, about how they were able to do that. No National Guards, no rubber bullets, no smoke, right? There's a level of privilege, there's a level of access that the closest to whiteness has, right? So that isn't veering left. We're talking about symptoms, but that's the point, is that we've been dangled this carrot, our social engineered to believe that we want to be closest to a group of people that have privilege. And our social systems, there are 5 social systems that were never made for us that uphold white supremacy, knowing or unknown, intentionally or unintentionally. That's education, health, wealth, the law, media representation, and so those things are changing now.
Yes.
But we want to be on TV, right? And we know we'll get the part, media representation, the newscasters back in the 80s and 90s, right? That got that. Even how we're treated in medicine and Black women's bodies in medicine, right? Money and banking and getting approved for loans and all those different things. And so we fight each other because we want to be a part of that system because we don't know our worth. And this is so much bigger than America. So Charles, you mentioned the whole African diaspora, and it's bigger than what had been socially engineered in slavery here. Actually, slavery was never based on race until about 1481. The Catholic Church declared slavery to be based on the fourth factor in 1481. It was just based on indebtedness. It was based on religious persecution or a prisoner of war. And when Henry the Navigator began to bring slaves from the Gold Coast and it became a capitalistic system, they made a fourth factor. And shortly after that, the father of anthropology, Carl Linnaeus, who created our taxonomy of life, created a hierarchy of life. And you see this hierarchy at the very top are white, and that means they're closest to God. At the very bottom were Black people. It went Malaysians and so on. And that means we were closer to an animal. And that system has stuck, that we are not closest to God. Our hair is not nice, that we are angry, that we are aggressive, we're not beautiful. And so as what you see going full circle, what you see changing now, you talked about on the surface, we're from African kings and queens. That's the surface level stuff. We're starting to do this work that we say, I know I am beautiful. I know that my sister's beautiful. I find myself complimenting other Black women, other women, period. I like your necklace. I like your hair. We got to get out of this. And so I think our healing is an acknowledgement and accountability, and that we got to stop looking for an apology. White people are not going to apologize to us. And we have to heal ourselves. And in your own healing, you'll find that our children will heal, and that we'll stop passing down, like Constance said, how we treat our kids and so on. And we'll see the erasure of how we were socially engineered. We'll decolonize our own minds. We'll save ourselves. Black people are the most resilient people there are on the planet. Surely we can overcome colorism.
Yeah. All right, Ms. Hannah, what do you think? What's something that we could do to change?
Just overarching, it kind of, Robert said it a little bit about being who you are. So my take is I focus on authenticity. So discovering your authenticity. The work is different from Brene Brown and the Clifton Strengths and Stephen Covey or Franklin Covey, which is all great, but it's not, that work is not done in the lens of Black folk, right? And helping us understand who we are. So my formula about discovering your authenticity is developing your identity and how we've been shaped, which is some of the work we've done here today. That helps you understand your purpose, feel your passion, and develop your potential. And really where it activates is what Robert said, is how do you then use that authenticity to make an impact where you are. Either you're a policymaker, your emissions and records. Everybody has some version of influence. Missions and records, a homegrown person, like what Constance is doing. So you use your authenticity to make an impact to change these social systems. So I say discover your authenticity, apply that authenticity to make good, and then empower the generation behind. Like Jahari said with her daughter, find ways to end your discovery to empower the generation behind. I also have a dark skinned daughter and the son my complexion, and doing that work with her was so intentional. Now she's 14 and so unapologetic, with kinky hair, dark skin. It actually has a skin condition that she has to get treatment 3 times a week that makes her skin even darker. And she's always the only Black person in the class, and she loves herself. So that unapologetic, I know who I am, even at the age of 14, because you're always going to be discovering who you are as we grow. So we really need to know who we are and the power we have to make that change. And that really is where the work begins.
You know, so many people are broken because